You won't appreciate it until you've left, and the world might seem a smaller place with internet and Skype when you leave to follow the hype or hope or whatever draws you away. But if it's someone or something you love, it seems as wide and as vast as it's ever been. Home is a place made of people and from people, and it is people that make them unique. We are where we were born, we are where we were reared, we are our neighbours, our friends, our relations. We make our home unique and special, and everyone that leaves takes away a part of that place, takes away those peculiar little things that are the soul of our unique race. Individually, it mightn't seem like much, but add all of you together, and it seems imposing. It is that essence that is in all of us, a homing instinct, like a salmon that defies gravity and raging rivers to claw its way home. But some places draw you back that little bit more, that in a crowd far away leaves you feeling all alone. If you ask Donegal people what it is that they would miss from here at home, they will, after not much thought, say their family or friends, neighbours or relations, before going on to list more worldly things, like food and drink, how Guinness seems thicker, creamier, and butter too, and views in places appear prettier, dreamier, like a colour, some heavenly hue. Then they'll list crisscross soda bread, big breakfasts of bacon, sausages and ham, the boys in green and gold bringing home their long-lost Sam. They'll chat about Daniel Doherty loaves and floury baps, and how there is little need for Google Maps or App Store apps. A Stanley range in the smell of wheat and scone bread, football special, country kitchens, red lemonade, flower beds, coffee mornings and talking heads, Ivan's Power Hour, multi-lane cycling 20 abreast, charity tractor runs, Donegal tweeds, double breasts, whiskey, linen, Irish stew, the rare old Mountain Dew, no traffic blaring bumper to bumper, coloured glass, pottery cups and thick woolen jumpers. But those are things that we can either send to you or that you have over there already. There are other draws, like the pace of life, permanently unlocked doors you enter without knocking, knowing nearly everyone you meet, wherever you go or wherever you take a seat, hearing your own accent, not in sporadic bursts, but in an everyday, all-day experience of, "Yes, lad, what are you at? What's the crack?" Others are not so obvious, that lazy sideways nod of the head, standing outside Mass or leaning on a steel gate at the mart, talent spotting 4 deep in the front seat of the town square that's really a triangle called the Diamond, old people passing down old words like wains and clouster and footer, now hijacked by Ulster Scots. Foreign travellers raving animately about our beauty spots. Rosie Tam skimming the head of a pint of black with a thin, slim butter knife's back. Bar dwellers talking about parish rivalry, parish news, parish gossip and parish views. The pubs closed on Christmas Day and Good Friday. Processions and recessions, Pancake Tuesday, Sheffield Wednesday. The rows over the Reds and the Blues. Not the United and City factors, but their little red Massey and blue Dex detractors. Bono said one man comes in the name of love, and so a Donegal man must come to see what he's at. And I suppose it's that curiosity that's given the world their great people. Noted American presidents, poetic residents, Kennedy, Obama, Clinton, Reagan and Bush. They say there's a possible leader of the free world behind every besom brush. Like all people, we feel the pull abroad, but still remains the pull to return home once more. And as we tear ourselves apart, going to and fro, seeing our parents visibly age as we come and go, and do we stay and do a course in how to weave magic into an invisible cloud, or do we leave and become one of the smarming, swarming crowd? Faraway hills may look green, until you turn around and look to the hills of home, which have never seemed greener and will look green more and more the further from here you are blown. Not over there can I stand on these Donegal hills, our own separate republic, and look down on a quilted wonder and gaze in awe at every far-off yonder that no million pixels will ever do justice to, and in comparison are far between and few. You'll still see the few who tread the long acre, grazing freely along a verge thronged with yellow winds. Give up the boom years with your jeeps and your sports cars with 16-inch alloys and 56 gears, and now repent your worldly sins. Come back home to the hills again, to Tut, while you foot the turf that falls like Urus manna from heaven and fires the old home 24/7. And as long as names like Gallagher, Doherty, McFadden and Freel still roam this land. There must be considerable hope that no matter what lies ahead, it'll all end up grand.
Shibbity-bop, shibbity-bop.
My crummy Valentine, cheap dummy Valentine, where is the token of your love? You say you're not the type to fall for commercial hype. You're tight when push comes down to shove. Did you spend your money on you? You can't stand to be told what to do. Won't sit at a table for two. Deja vu. It's an excuse to me. And what's the use to me? Pay, little Valentine, pay. Cough up, it's Valentine's Day.
Well, as I walk through this valley of my financial death, I take a look at my bank and I realize there's nothing left, 'cause I've been gigging and renting for so long that even my granddad says, "Where's your shavings gone?" Well, I never bought a rose for someone who didn't deserve it. Say I should be love-struck, well, I would probably swerve it. You better watch how you're talking, who you're walking, or this relationship might be lined in chalk.
Valentine's not your thing. You love me without a ring. Don't care what flowers to bring, you're boycotting. That's an excuse to me. And what's the use to me? Pay, little Valentine, pay. Cough up, it's Valentine's Day.
I remember the border, when it was a border, before the common market as we called it then. It crossed round humping hills and winding lanes and sudden lochs, where everyone was smuggling butter, sugar, pulled tea-ills of shopping bags on the outside of the trains, jokes about wetting the tay. We were those Protestants who crossed the border each July to avoid the bands heading for the sea in Donegal. We hoped the weather would be fine. The customs men at Petticoat would be sitting in the sun and wave us through, for Petticoat was easy that way, as we knew, not like Balleek. And then we'd keep an eye for green post office vans or signs that said Gumal to show that this was not our land, although it had the same round humping hills and winding lanes and sudden lochs. And I recall the border when it was a border once again, with concrete blocks and corrugated towers and helicopters hung like moths beating the sky above the humping hills and winding lanes and sudden lochs. The customs sheds were gone, but borders now closed round us tight with curbside colours, tattered flags, X marks the spot, and don't go out tonight. You don't know who might be about, and don't trust anyone who says Brits out does not mean you. Yet even in the worst of times, when no one drove round humping hills, the lanes still wound past sudden lochs to stop and block, or crater, or in broken bridge. If you knew where to look, you still might find some footstick, or some tractor track to bind it back. It's not a border if there's no way through.
Check this out. Yo, let me ask you people something. You ever bone your grandma to death? Talk about going out with a bang, people.
Whoa, what?
Looking presentable from a distance. Up close, ripped shoes, weak span past. Looking resentable, far out. A spaceman, a starbound. Blank face mistaken for a long frown. Ask me why the long face, I tell ye I am not down. Mind your business, but bad days you'll get knocked out. Mine's been tripping up on the simple, missing days and obsessing on symbols. Craving a simplicity that's gone now. Looking for a shortcut to the long route. My circuit board's been shorted, senses crippled, stuck on pure loud. Stuck on dishing pure out, going cuckoo in this birdhouse. Might just go Hadouken and knock your bird out, cause I'm bored now and get heard out. That's persuasive. You dip and dodge and duck and act evasive. I just face it, she deserved it. You think it when I say it. You drink it when your contactless is paying. Just stay conscienceless is all I'm saying. I be chill as fuck where you be raging. My conscience just got lost inside these pages. Many more been lost in search of wages. Sickness in your souls is just so flagrant. Deviants right wandering my vagrants. A board is full of pawns in search of placement. Oblivious to all their own arrangements. Just running the rat race to your worn out. Fat cats chase will close your door down. Vultures pick you clean down to the bones now. This their fucking house, it ain't no home now. Four walls full of hateful clothes and sold now. Detestable with a death wish, a vegetable with head is full of sick shit. Blood stains for some lipstick, heads mounted on bike sticks. Fucked up whatever way you twist it. I was born for war but shit I fucking missed it. Now we brew the tea gets brewed, these sips don't with some biscuits. Cause violence bad, compliance good, what you can do is listed. You had your freedoms gifted and the days gone by, but hey you waved inside the side, you kissed them goodbye for safe spaces and some similar lives. Now you're all the same, living some similar lies. Past smiles, observe and see the stare in your eyes. I'd die for anything, trying to feel some alive. I'm just looking for a reason, if you're so inclined. Running the rat race to your worn out. Fat cats chase will close your door down. Vultures pick you clean down to the bones now. This their fucking house, it ain't no home now. Four walls full of hateful clothes and sold now. Just running the rat race to your worn out. Fat cats chase will close your door down. Vultures pick you clean down to the bones now. This their fucking house, it ain't no home now. Four walls full of hateful clothes and sold now.
And I have another vodka and cranberry to wet my whistle. And I'm going to read you 3 poems from my hopefully upcoming pamphlet, The Everlasting Now. And hope that I don't get any heckling from this crowd. So we're going to start off yet again to mention that I cannot memorise things because I have bipolar disorder and my brain does not work that way, unfortunately. Brain fog means for me, I'm unable to memorise. That's not going to change because I'm doing a video. So there we go. I could try and paste it to my window and stare at my window, but I think that would be less interesting for you if I was staring at my window in a strange fashion while trying to read a poem. So I'm going to start with one that is called A Mer Monster, as it is about what mermaids would really be like if they were real. So this is called Mer Monster. They never picture the gills, or like seals, do mermaids bob up just when their lungs feel like burning. The scales, too, must dull in all that salt water, become rougher, less reflective. Swimming naked, they would have elbows like a washerwoman's. Their eyebrows grow and looked at in mirrors. Their armpit hair like small clumps of seaweed. The hair would tangle as hard as coral in the centre. They would have scarred surfaces from underwater encounters with rocks and pincers. Do they sit on rocks, not sunning, but bashing the heads of fish and swallowing the rest whole and all? Their teeth would be yellowed and sharper than ours. They would be vicious and may not have the vocal cords of a human, a shrieking hybrid of human and fish. So that's my first poem. My second poem is called 33 1/3 RPM. For those of you that know, that is the speed of a long player record, an LP, an album. And this is a poem about music and grief and sex, all of those things in one poem. So we'll go with this one. Mother bought me a record player, almost spit of her teenage picnic portable. She shows me how to play a record. My hands are always too small, swept from the stylus. She plays Yazoo, Only You, lifts a soprano to it. I pick up another. The middle-aged guy at the counter sneers it into the carrier. Later that track comes through a digital radio. Someone unzips my dress. We half dance, half cut, sing. She bought the player to gift me the handful of Dad's records, hoping to transmit something of his love in the grooves. Bowie purrs out, soul love. She tells me all the Bowie is his. My longest music obsession, I don't remember starting, labyrinth visions of glitter. I still have this notion, the fragility of vinyl. Find myself twisting my wrist, allowing the gust to take the square package just as he taught me to fly a kite. Fear skipping is my fault. Breathe hard on the stylus, and then the warm sound comes. Mum's copy of Hard Day's Night slides out with an emulsion rim. Loughborough, 1965, in biro on the cover. Still they sing out, if I give my heart to you. I cannot temper white-hot child grief with this adult absence, a lack of familiarity, a crack I can't fill in. So there we go, and we're going to move on to another musically inspired poem. So this is music, mainly the music of Smog, Bill Callahan, and love and loss, which are those things that go together so well in Bill Callahan's music. So here we go. The day before the gig, miraculous, I get a ticket to see Bill Callahan, whose extension of vowels and sad, sexy songs have inspired my poetry for half a decade or more. After finding that copy of Knock Knock in the holiday rent Seabank house on Arran, among the incomplete Scrabble and VHS for films no one wanted to watch 20 years ago. In the crowd there are couples all around me swaying together, and I realise you do not love me. You will never write me a poem. I regret my half dozen that poured from a heart too used to numbness, overexerted. I won't be telling you how Bill dances the awkward sidestep that is as unself-conscious as every other small movement he makes. The contortions of his face as he hits the notes. He moves hardly at all, and we are all hushed. I weep without wiping my tears. There are more to come, as he sings about love requiring brambles and obstacles. My brambles are too vast, my thorns too numerous, for you not to be pierced by them when trying to reach the high blackberries of my lust. So I will leave that there, and we'll have a very drunken goodbye from my audience, and hopefully I will be back here again to share some more poems another day when I can be bothered to draw my eyebrows on.
Last man standing on the edge of the world.
I try to remember, but when everything is coming back to me, I feel as if my memory is paralyzed.
Now let's see. What is the last thing you can remember?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, but I got it. It got me, I'm going on a faraway holiday, no planning, returning. Would you miss me lately?
I ain't so sure. From sincere to the door, I no longer feel sure. And you're levitating over me and pure. I'm a footnote of an anecdote, but the future needs you. I've become a worse version of my former person. Denial gives permission to pick up this weapon. Reality cheats me and leads to aggression. Want to break out this box that I'm stuffed down and kept in. I reckon the dark road just got too damn windy. The twists were confusing, the lights out they blind me. Sat-navs to enemies, mapped out how they find me. An unlikely hidey holes me no likey. I'm leaving a trail, too tired to fight it. Still petrol from Peter to Paul to ignite it.
Last man standing on the edge of the world,
rolling solo with the flag unfurled.
Last man standing on the edge of the world,
rolling solo with the flag unfurled.
Last man standing on the edge of the world,
rolling solo with the flag unfurled.
Last man standing on the edge of the world.
This is a man who runs from discussion, comes from the tunnel of fuzz and expulsion, turns into devil on worst of consumption, struggles to function and fucking disgusting. Understands why you can't, but just wants you to love him. Outcast from all funding, relies on his cunning. I speak in the third, I see some of you wondering, hoping for the forks and the tongue in abundance. It sickens to witness the pits of corruption, the worst bits conforming in order to summon up a little something. I'm burnt out begunning. For those who forbid me, forgive me, I'm coming. And you can't stun me with a lump. Some I'm troublesome and running into oncoming traffic with a mask made for surgeon. The muscle hides a piece of the puzzle called consumption, translating isolation but transmitting from nothing.
Last man standing on the edge of the world,
rolling solo with the flag unfurled.
Last man standing on the edge of the world,
rolling solo with the flag unfurled.
Last man standing on the edge of the world,
rolling solo with the flag unfurled.
Last man standing on the edge of the world.
Back when Lord Balfour built the castle down in Lissenskee, the Maguires of around that part had to work for them, and that's why they're known to this day as the horny-handed Maguires. Well, old Balfour, the first Balfour, had a son, an only son. He was as tall as a tree, as strong as an engine, and he used to play ball of an evening up against the castle wall. One evening, an old man on a white horse rides up to him and he says, "I'll play you now and I'll beat you. You'll not play me, but you won't beat me." How could an old man of 80 beat the likes of him? "I'll tell you what it is," says the old man. "I'll play you 3 times, 1 game every evening, and if I beat you once, you must follow me, for I'll take you with me." So they played the first time, and the son won. They played the second time, and the son won. They played the third time. It was getting late, and the mist rising from the loch, and the old man won. "You'll come home with me now," he says. "I like you greatly," he says. "You'll be very handy to me." So up on the back of the white horse, and away the two of them went, and the young man never asked where they were going, because he'd heard all the old stories. He knew they were going to Tirnanogue. "Have a good sleep now," says the old man, "for there's a hard day's work before you in the morning." So he had a good night's sleep, and he woke up at dawn, and the old man was awake too. So the two of them got up, and the old man says to him, "Now," says he, "my great-grandmother lost a bodkin years and years ago. It's out in that dung heap of it is, and if you don't find it for me by nightfall, I'll cut the head off you and I'll eat you." He gave the young lad a dung fork, and he told him to try for the needle. Lord Balfour's son dug dung all that day. I'll tell you the trouble he took. He was parting the straws with his fingers, but he not a sign of the bodkin did he see. "I'll be killed surely," said he in the evening. So he sat down on a stone and he started to cry. Then who should he see standing over him but the old man's daughter? Oh, a grand-looking girl, and she had a bodkin in her hand. "Here it is," she said. "Show it to the father, but don't let it out of your hand. Don't give it to him at all. It will be useful to you hereafter." Then the old man comes along. "Have you found the bodkin?" says he. "I have," says the lad, and he shows it to him, but he doesn't let it out of his hand. "Fair enough," says the old man. "Go to sleep now, for there's another hard day for you before you." So the lad went to bed. I don't know did he get any supper, but he had a good sleep, for he was tired from all that rooting about in the manure. Next morning he got up, and the old man gave him a gun, and he says, "Go up now up the mountain and shoot me some birds, for I want you to bring me back a bag full of feathers." The lad went out. He thought that wasn't so bad, but he shot, and he shot all day, and he couldn't hit one bird. At the end of the day he was worn out again. "I'll be killed now, surely," he says. And along comes the daughter. He says, "I can get you a bag of feathers, but there'll be a job for you tomorrow we won't be able to do. He'll have the head off you, surely." That night, when the old man was asleep, they went down to the stable and they got the white horse. Lord Balfour's son and the old man's daughter. Oh, she was lovely, all right. They got up on his back and away with them over the hills. When it was nearly morning, the lad looked back and he saw the father on a big black horse coming after them like the wind. "He's too fast for us altogether," he says. "You can't escape from him at all." "Have you the bodkin?" she says. "I have." "Throw it over your shoulder and don't look back." And so he did. He rode as hard as he could, and he never looked back, and before he knew it, he was back at the castle. 3 days and 3 nights of a wedding feast they had. Many years later, old Balfour died, and the son was lord of the castle. And he had a son of his own, but he never told him where his mother came from, till one day she brought him up the hill to Cornashee, to meet a horny-handed old man who lived all alone with nothing to his name but a black horse and a gun that couldn't shoot straight.
While loving it slow decay, but your words, they all went so hollow when you knelt there as if to pray. Said I'd find someone new when that's all you had to say. I cursed your words and I damned this world as I burned your book of days. classic fool can avoid all the facts. And there's twilight time now where love's a crime. I never wish to come back. There's no pain, no sad story. There's no tears there, no decay. There's no heaven, no hell, where the loveless dwell as they dance to the break of day.
Hello, my name is Robert, and I'm going to be reciting a poem that I wrote about love and romance. And the poem is called Up Into My Arms. Up into my arms, she welcomed him. As the boy and him leapt up without a hesitation, the man offered his light, so the girl in her could see inside with perfect sight. As she was gifted his hands, that woman would be held closer than ever before. That man would feel the warmth he had always longed for. There everything was on the table laid, not one truth but all truths ever told, nor one lie hidden. For there was no need to be scared at that our lives lived before, only love to be shared equally, only intellect to admire, only compassion to treasure always, a romance. This was the romance they had always searched for, but no longer would they be searching. Realizations would always point them in the one direction, a path they knew they would walk together. Far from the path behind them they both took separately, but they always meet in this one perfect moment, just like everything else, perfectly and exactly the way it's supposed to be. The hard times of former lovers, of fakery and fiendish friendships failed, perfect. Trials and tribulations, testing and terrifying, perfect. Loss of love and lonely lament, perfect. Empathy towards the empty and askew, perfect. This was exactly what brought them together unknowingly. This was exactly what made them question the reality of it. This was exactly why they hesitated. This was exactly why it came to this wondrous moment. Everything that happened then and is happening right now happened perfectly and exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Sorry, Pops. 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 Should someone say that to you one day? See how you would like it. Nearly as bad as I say. Zoom to consume. In this room is my doom, with a loom, and go boom till my tomb from the womb for whom in the coombe this room consume and go boom, zoom, zoom in this room, doom, tomb for whom with a loom and go boom, tomb, room, consume, zoom, 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 zoom with a loom, with a loom, with a loom, with a loom, and a zoom to consume this room, my doom, a loom, doom, a loom, doom, a loom, my doom, go boom for whom, the womb for whom, the womb for whom, the womb in the coombe, with a loom, 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 and go boom, 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 zoom to consume, zoom, zoom, this is my room, doom, loom, this is my room, doom, loom, toom, boom, boom, toom, boom, toom, boom, 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 toom, boom, for whom, in the coombe, for whom, in the coombe, go boom, go boom, go boom, consume, doom, consume, doom, consume, doom, consume, doom, a bloom, consume, doom, a loom, in the womb, my doom, in the womb, my doom, my doom, my doom, my doom, till the boom, till the boom, till the boom, from the zoom, room, from the zoom, room, zoom, room, room, zoom, zoom, room, zoom, zoom, room, zoom, zoom, room, to consume, to consume, to consume, to consume, to consume, to consume my doom, to consume my doom, to consume my doom, to consume, till a boom, till a boom, till a boom, consume, till a boom. Drastic plastic killer in the seas, put there by you and me, by Larry Butler. Dur as tick pill has tick ache hill her int disease, poo there by Hugh ant be dur ant as Hugh tick by pill there, has pooed tick disease, ache hint ill her. By disease ache pill, dare Hugh her dur, ill poo tick, hint ant was, has been. BD A P D H H D I P T H A W H B B D A P H B D H H D I P T H T H A W T H A W. Thaw, thaw, unfreeze your heart, melt mine, do please.
Feeling high. Oh, this is the last we give away. Fight for what's right. She strikes back Brien, we strike back even Steven. Yes, bad never strikes back. I try not to cry.
And this is a poem that took a long time. There was bits and pieces of it over the years. But I suppose it's a love poem. Well, it is. And sometimes, like love, it takes a long time to get there. Called Do Not Belong to Others. Do not belong to others, for none belong to you. Possession is not virtue, just the turning of a screw. All those dispossessed possessions, spent and broken on the rack, do not belong to others, for they may not give you back. And it never really matters if it's me, you, her, or him. It becomes someone's possession to be disposed of on a whim. A darker still scenario for her, him, me, or you is to become someone's possessor. I belong to you. I belong to you now. Do you belong to me? Is this all that I long for? To give someone the key to understand me totally, accept without complaint, to give to this one other my whole self without restraint, abandoned to the moment when another makes us live, when against all wiser judgment I can do naught else but give all my love, head, heart and body, to this single other soul, to unite in the divisions of ourselves and make us whole. Yet still the siren voices call me. Hear their claims, ask, are they true? Do not belong to others, for none belong to you. Do not be led by instinct, love, emotion you can feel. Kneel before each endless reason for denying what is real. Break the heart, destroy the spirit, kill all passion, murder rage. Purge your memory of loving. Build yourself a better cage. Try to wriggle out of living. Climb the scaffold. Bend the knee. But do not belong to others. They may never set you free. Free to feel no thing for no one. Free to gasp the truth of Zen, free to mutter through the madness in the minds of many men, how you're free of fruitless passion, how you've crucified inside, how your science, your gods, your reason of all being verified. I don't want such understanding. I don't need to live alone. I know we all are anyhow, from belly back to bone. I just need your heartfelt laughter. I want your body next to mine. Belonging to another is the only human sign. Back to this, the same old story, told, telling, always true. I may not belong to others, but I will belong to you.
I believe I'm gonna grab my shotgun, shift sheeter off of my ship. I'm gonna take down the tie-dyes line to better. I'm gonna cool down my cargo with a can of OPT. They don't call for the castagnata in my frontline library. There's one thing I know. I ain't gonna go, 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 ain't dancing, trance, no thanks, no chance, no tranquilize me. Ain't sipping no small bar drinks, yo, that don't satisfy me. Don't sit up like Dharma with me. Drop of gasoline, lying down with tails, smell canna, drink manchito. There's one thing I know, Lord above, I ain't going to go.
The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. I travel north into the south and south into the north. The blood flows through my veins and the rivers flow freely across the borderland. The Free State, the island, the province, the north and the south, Ireland, ERA, UK, EU, USA, the British Empire, the Commonwealth, Chucky Arla, God Save the Queen, God Bless America and up the Ra. Borderland. The 26, the 32, the 6 counties in 1816, the 12th, over 3,500 people have died in the troubles north and south of the 208 border crossings. Borderland. Culmore, Muff, Brien, Cushquin, Carrigans, Lifford, Strabane, Auchnacloy, Newry, Dundalk, Petticoat, Leak, Black Lion, Belcoo, Cross McLean, Warren Point, a blood-stained borderland. Army green tall towers, gunmetal grey, camouflage faces and white eyes. Licence mate, where are you coming from? Where are you going? What's your business? Borderland. Dragon's teeth, ramps, stingers and lamps, foreign accents, guns at the ready, step out of the car. Are you sure you're going to Derry? Pull the bonnet, open the boot, empty your pockets, please don't shoot. Borderland. The prods, the tags, the orange men, you Fenian bastard, the Brits, the bold Fenian men, the old IRA, the new IRA, the real IRA, the continuity IRA, the provisional IRA, the UVF, the UDA, the UDR, the RUC and the FU2. Borderland. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. I travel north into the south and south into the north. The blood flows through my veins and the rivers flow freely across the borderland. Ian, Martin, Jerry and John Hume. No surrender, Ulster says no. Don't you remember the smoke plume? Borderland. A young girl skips over the barrel of a British soldier's rifle in Shipley Street. No school today, bombed. No chapel today, bombed. The roar of the troop carrier, camouflage faces, white eyes and heavy guns. The machine hovers as they duck and dive under an invisible barrage of fire from young eyes filled with excitement and fear. Borderland. The euro, the pound, the punt, the pence and the cents. What price a blood-stained borderland? It makes no sense. Oma Enniskillen, Dublin Monaghan. North of the border, down south, West Belfast, East Belfast, the waterside, the bog side, the right side, the wrong side, the divide. Borderland. A child's face pushed against a car window, long queues through no man's land on a summer sunny Sunday, leaving Inishowen and heading south into the north, back home to Derry through a heavily fortified British Army border post. Borderland. The Good Friday Agreement, the St Andrews Agreement, the Belfast Agreement, the Anglo-Irish Agreement. Appeasement. Borderland. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. I travel north into the south and south into the north. The blood flows through my veins and the rivers flow freely across the borderland. Bloody Sunday, Easter Monday, the lily, the white blood-stained handkerchief waved in the air. Don't shoot. Borderland. Red, white and blue, green, white and gold, the Union Jack, the tricolour, the sash, the soldier's song. This land is my land, this land is your land. Borderland. The GAA club on the other side of a British military border post. Club colours a threat to border guards. To play for your club, you must run the gauntlet of harassment. Feel the crosshairs on your back. A trigger is squeezed and a young innocent man slumps to the ground in no man's land. Borderland. The Miami Show Band. Collusion, confusion, conclusion, shoot to kill. Borderland. Demilitarisation, decommissioning, the border post dismantled, weapons put beyond use, peace bridge across the foil, hands across the divide, no checkpoints, no guns, no searches, no questions, no border. Borderland. And now you asked, we stand by and watch a border be built once again, on this land, on our land, on your land. Feel the crosshairs on our back once again. Feel a burning bullet pierce deep into our back on a border crossing. A borderland. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. I travel north into the north and south into the south. The blood flows freely through my veins and the rivers flow freely across a land with no border. Ireland.